One of the coolest aspects of the motion control synthesis in Montage is the envelope follower. Now, a traditional envelope follower, bass players use them all the time, where the amplitude of the bass, when they play the instrument, it changes a filter sweep. So you get this wah-wah sound. It's a cool sound, and it's a very amazing sound, actually. But what Montage does is it takes it to another level by not only allowing a filter to be modulated by this amplitude input, it also could be any of the motion control synthesis parameters that are assignable to any of the parameters in the instrument itself. So today what I'm going to do is I have Steve Fisher here from the drum department of Yamaha with a DTX Multi-12 pad. We're taking the audio outputs, the stereo audio out of the DTX M12 and going into the A to D inputs on the back of the Montage. And then I have, right on the front panel, you have an A to D input on-off switch. So I can turn this on. Now he's active. So when he plays a note, go ahead and play a note. It's now going from the DTX M12 into the A to D input. But that's only half of the coolness. The coolest thing is that I have a performance that I have set up. It's called envelope followed. And basically what it is, it's a pad sound up in my right hand. And then in my left hand, I have a bass line. Now, the thing that's kind of interesting is when I play this, it's kind of boring. You have a little bit of a cool envelope happening here that's changing, but the bass is very static. That's because I have this set up to look at the input coming from the DTX M12 to control different parameters in real time. So check this out. So first of all, let's just get a groove going here, whatever you want to play, and I'll play the bass part here. Now listen to what happens when I play it now. Stop for a second. So now check it out. Oh, there it is. That's cool. So how is this working? Well, now let's take a look at the Montage inside, and I'll show you how I have this routed. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the edit button. And right now I've already selected, you can see in the top of the screen, edit part 1 common. And I actually have this already set up where I'm looking at part settings, control assign. So now I'm looking at the bass part. Now the bass part is an FM bass part. So inside the screen you have display filter. It's showing what the source is. The source is envelope follow AD. So it's coming from the DTX A to D input. There you go. So what have I routed to this? I've routed feedback of one of the modulating operators of the FM synth engine. Don't worry about it, it's cool. It's a cool parameter. The next one I have is cutoff frequency of the filter, and then I also have pan. And when you listen to how this is playing back, when Steve's playing, you'll notice that the bass line is moving back and forth in tempo with what's happening here. So I'm also going to show you where I have destination. I'm going to go ahead and click this, and you can see all the things that can be routed to this. So I have right here, here's the FM part. These are all the things that are routable. Some things work better than others, no question. But with feedback of an operator, that is a powerful thing. That will change the timbre of the sound. You can also change part parameters. I could have reverb send. Let's say I want to do, how about pitch? Let's hear what happens to the bass when he hits a note here. So now it's a whole different parameter. How about if I change it back to what I had it to? FM parameter, we'll go to feedback, and you also hear how the pan is happening. That's because destination here is pan. You also have curves that you can move around in with the envelope follower as well. So if I go to curve type, I have a selection of all of these different types of movement. So if I change it to something like, let's say, sequence, let's hear what that does to the pan. Way faster. And that's exactly what I see inside of the curve type. Another cool thing is, let's say you don't like any of these curves. I have all of these user areas, 32 user areas where I can create my own motion. And remember, up to 16 parameters can be assigned to this one part, to this envelope follower. Again, one of the things that's cool about Montage, I always talk about how expressive this instrument is. Even the envelope follower is expressive and how it responds. So if I play this, and listen to what happens when Steve plays softer. Let's take a look at what's happening with the envelope follower too, as that happens. Go ahead and play again. You can see the input, you can see the envelope follower output, but then you also have gain, attack, and release, so I can control how fast the envelope follower is working. So if I change the attack, let's say, it's much slower, a little behind the beat. So you can actually do rhythmic things to the envelope follower by changing some of these parameters, not only in those motions that I showed, but also in the envelope follower input, output, attack and release, and gain as well. There's nothing on the planet that does anything this deep with an ADD input and an envelope follower, nothing at all. So that's one of the coolest things I really love about the Montage, is the ability to take my friends and bring them into my synthesizer world and do some really cool creative things.